You've often been compared with your optimism about America's future, while the rest of the country and mainstream media and a lot of polls have said that Americans, great majority of Americans, think that the future is going to be less good than the past has been, that they look ahead and they say we're a nation in decline. You have talked a number of times about restoring America's leadership role in the world, but also America's sense of itself and confidence in its own moral, the shining city on the hill, to borrow Ronald Reagan's phrase. How would you go about doing that?
Well, first of all, I'm optimistic about America because despite our challenges, I wake up every morning with a belief that I wouldn't trade places with any other country in the world. In essence, I encourage everyone here to ask yourself the same question. Despite our challenges, who would you rather be? Would you trade places with Russia? Would you trade places with China? I don't think anybody in this room would, and neither would I. We have challenges, and they need to be confronted. That's not new. Every generation has faced challenges. Some were domestic, some were international, some were both, but we've always faced great challenge, and we always will. And the question for us is not whether we face challenges, it's whether we're going to solve them and move on. I actually think the 21st century holds extraordinary promise. For example, economically, we now live in a world where there are hundreds of millions of people that can afford to buy the things we make, the services we offer, who are prepared to invest with us and partner with us. We've never had a global economy with so many people who buy things and invest in things. And we can be a big winner, as can they. It's not a zero-sum game. I'm very optimistic about that. I'm optimistic about the fact that all over the world, a growing number of people aspire to liberty and freedom. And in many respects, while the internet poses challenges, for example, the ability to radicalize Americans, it also poses extraordinary opportunity, which is the ability to collaborate and spread news and information quicker than ever. These are positive developments. Our choice is, do we harness them and lead, or are we overwhelmed by them and are left behind? Americans are insecure about tomorrow because the world is rapidly changing. Our economy is not undergoing a downturn. It is undergoing a massive transformation. It is like the Industrial Revolution happening every 5 years. And the question we must answer is, are we going to embrace it, or do we ignore it, fight against it, and get left behind? And geopolitically, yes, the world is changing, but it still requires American leadership. In the absence of our leadership, what you leave behind is a vacuum, and that vacuum leads to chaos. America's never asked for this job of being the global leader. But for some reason that we don't fully understand, fate has given it to us. And now we have a choice. We must either accept it, or the world will become a darker, more difficult place to live in. Because, as I said, in the absence of our leadership, there's no one that takes our place, and the chaos that follows makes the world more dangerous and less prosperous.